Hello and welcome to I Came Here With Nothing with Kiyanosh and Tim. This is another episode of the show that you've grown to love where we just sit back and watch Deal or No Deal. Now, I feel like after a few of these, you're starting to get the hang of the show.
For sure. Loving the show. Starting to realize what the briefcases are for, that you can win money. Very exciting. And that you have to be white to play. So it's a pretty cool thing. I didn't know that when I was watching as a kid. You don't think about that stuff really until you exist in the world and you go, okay.
See, when I was a kid, even before my time, there was a bloke called Danny Bonaducci.
Whoa.
And he kind of looked like me as a kid. He was on a show called Something in Space.
Bonaducci, that's a sick last
Was
name.
he? I'm thinking of the Partridge Family. He was in the Partridge Family.
Okay, nice.
And he kind of looked like me. And
Wow.
now he's a shock jock radio guy.
Wow.
He's old and weathered and yeah.
Guess that's where you're headed, brother.
The sun has not been kind to him. But I was like, there was always people on TV that kind of looked like me.
Yeah, it must be nice, man. I had to watch a lot of the cameo terrorist role in 24, and I would be like, oh, he's Iranian. You know that there's actually an Iranian comedian, Omid Jalili or Maz Jobrani.
See,
do you ever watch
Homeland?
Comedians. No.
See, Homeland had an English Shakespearean actor as the lead.
Yeah.
So he's like a ginger guy. He's on Billions and stuff.
Yep.
But he had an amazing American accent in that show.
Yeah, look, we didn't have the same childhood, I guess. Especially in game shows, I feel like. I don't remember.
But that show is about him being a terrorist.
Oh, right. Okay, now
even terrorists are ginger now, mate.
Which I like. That is progress. I think give the terrorist roles to the whites and then let a brown guy play Randy from, like the neighbor Randy.
Yeah.
Give us those roles.
I was thinking of the show I was thinking of was called
to be honest.
Lost in Space. It was originally in black and white, and there was a kid on there that looked like me.
Lost in Space. Man, I don't know any of these.
These are very old TV shows. Yeah.
Tim's in his 50s, by the way. I don't know if you guys can tell. I know he looks...
Yeah, Denny Bonaducci and I are like similar in age.
He looks like a high school character from The Simpsons, but Tim is actually in his 50s. So we're pretty much pros at the show now. I know how it works. I know the host's name as well, so we're getting very close. Very exciting episode today. But it's been a big week.
Yeah, man.
Of gigs and shindigs. I went to Newcastle this week.
Yeah, Newcastle's fun. I've been able to pop up a little bit. I came with you just for a road trip a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then I went back like a week later and did a spot, and it's an amazing comedy club.
Too good, really.
Newcastle Comedy Club, one of the best clubs, I think, in Australia.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's amazing. The best crowds, sells out when you're doing... the open mic packs out. It's like 100 people at the open mic, which
that's on a Tuesday.
Shouldn't even be allowed
a Tuesday night
have
in
such
Newcastle
a good crowd for an open mic.
Goes off.
And then the Saturday and Friday showcases are also just packed to the brim. And either way, you're getting great comedians, but they get people from all over. It's the best. And I was hosting it on Tuesday.
You were hosting the open mic.
Hosting the open mic on Tuesday, and man, it was a wild ride. So I road tripped with 5 other Sydney open micers. We're all talking and joking and having a good time.
Can you name names?
Yeah, so it's Shash Kapoor, Samer, who's a Samer?
I think so, yeah.
You might not. You should actually get him on Sweeney's fantastic. Who else was there? Sheel and goddamn Mickey.
I was going to say Mickey better be in this fucking story.
Mickey went from the front seat to the middle seat, which I felt was a rough demotion. But apparently I'm too tall to be in the back seat. So I was like, other people were petitioning for me. So we go up, and then the first half is so wildly different to the second half that night. The first half is kind of just most of the Sydney comics. And Jacques Barrett?
Yes.
Fuck, he's funny. He kind of closes out the first half. And just motors,
which is insane that you're getting these big acts.
Exactly, you're literally getting a headliner
who's
who's so fucking good. You would pay money you pay $40 to see him the night before, just do new shit for 10 minutes and murder, and it was fantastic. So the first half's run of the mill open mic stuff. I don't really need to do much. I just open up top, we get them, and we keep it going. Second half is a different beast entirely. The crowd are really warm, they're really loving, they're really great, right? And the kind of crowds which you need at an open mic, which is they're not just big laughers, they're not just supportive with the jokes. They're warm people. Mm-hmm. You know those ones? Where they're good people. Meaning, for those of you who don't do comedy, sometimes when people bomb, some crowds love that. because they're mean. You know, they're meanies. They almost want to laugh at the failure. So if you get someone who's weird and wacky, doesn't do too well, they will laugh at the failure, but in a high schooly jock way, right? Then you get crowds where when you bomb, they feel for you. They feel bad. They still really want to laugh. So they're on board. They're lovely. They're really sweet, but you're just not connecting with them, right? So I open up. They're a fantastic crowd. I'm ripping at the beginning because it's one of those crowds. They love to talk. They love to chit and chat. There's these two couples. They're both lifeguards. We have fun. His dad's a lifeguard. We're having all these jokes. His dad used to be a cop and now he's a lifeguard. It's fantastic. And then I bring on the first act. Goes well. Bring on the second act. They don't have a great set, right? As I said, happens. It's an open mic. You try stuff, it bombs. It's bound to happen. And while they're on, I go to the next comedian who's about to go on. I go, hey, man. And I know this guy. I know him, as in I've seen him at the club a little, right? And I don't want to drop names because it doesn't go well. But I tell him, hey, man, I'm going to clean this up. Don't worry about it. I'll do a joke or two. We'll get him back. You'll be on. And he's like, I love you. Thank you so much. Sweet.
We call that resetting in the biz.
Resetting. It's what the host is supposed to do because someone's had a bad set. You just want to bring the energy back up and say, hey, guys, no worries. Have
Sorry
a laugh.
to be Larry Lingo over here.
It's the next. Yeah, this might be a bit much, but it's going to be worth it. So then he goes on after I've reset the room and just completely shits on the last act.
Oh.
And not in a jokey way, not in like a little riff way that maybe references their joke and it didn't go well. Even that can go bad. But it was one of those like, hey, was that your first gig ever?
Yeah.
Jesus, what the hell was that? You're really terrible. And the person who didn't do well is like in the back being like, oh, come on, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like no laughs. There's like 80 people in there. And it's this weird, uncomfortable vibe. And he feels it. He was like, fuck, I shouldn't have brought it up. Anyway, just keeps doing his gear. It's going horribly. And like people are coming up to me. I was like, oh, we'll just keep it moving. People are coming up to me going, dude, what are you going to do about this? What the fuck are you going to do about this? So I come on stage after this horrific incident. And I'm like, I just acknowledged it. I'm like, dude, you guys think you're uncomfortable. I got to clean this shit up. Like, think about how I feel. And that gets him back, and we start having fun. And so I started to do a joke just to get him back, and it's the Emily in Paris joke. So I'm like, any fans of Emily in Paris? And this white girl goes crazy. So white girl in the back goes like, yes, it's my favorite. Like, crazy. And that brings some energy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why do you love it so much? Oh, of course, you're white. All this, you know, I do my hack shit. Everyone's laughing. We're back. And then she goes, now that I've got your attention, I just want to let you know, these guys next to me are eating salsa. They've brought a dip in from outside and they're eating salsa.
Nice.
And this creates the craziest energy I've ever seen, where she's like snitching on these guys. And these guys are like not saying anything. They're just cute little guys eating salsa. And I'm on their side. So I'm like, fuck you, let them eat their salsa. If you're allowed to be here, they're allowed to be here. It creates this whole scene with this lady. And I start like feeding her. I'm like, who else do you have a problem with? And she's like, they look dodgy. And she's just shitting on the crowd now, just calling people out. And the energy is completely 180 at this point. Like we're back on a good vibe.
Okay,
we're good. It's fantastic, right? But she won't stop. This lady, like, I can't do the joke. She's like such a big fan that she's like, that's not true. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, there's no real issues in the show. She's like, that's not true. Technically, she's just a whole thing. So it completely changes the whole room kind of hates her, but I'm backing her. So it's like, I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm on her side. You know, I'm going to try to upload this if I can, because it's fantastic. It's so much fun. And then it comes back around later at the end of the show. I try to just it fixes everything's fine when people come on and we have a great time. And then at the end, I try to say the joke again and she's just still there. Like she wants the last word almost. So I do the joke and she's like, Emily in salsa. And then someone else in the crowd just goes, shut the fuck up. And it murders. Like you've never heard. Applause. Everyone loves this guy. And I'm like, I don't even need to do my job anymore. And we basically closed out the night by being like, thanks for coming, guys. We've got one more act. And then she's going to do her hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was such a 180 flip of like, this guy, and again, God bless the guy. I hope he doesn't do it again, but God bless him, of just shitting on a comic and everyone be like, what the fuck's going on? To this lady giving me like a comedic like volley and letting me just slam it by being like, these cunts are eating salsa. these guys are losers. She's fingering him. And all
But it
this
wasn't even a
crazy
pun. It wasn't even a play. It was just like connecting.
I just wanted to snitch
Emily in
on-
Paris and Salsa.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
It wasn't-
That was horrific. But the fact that the crowd all got in, like it created this whole. This is why I love hosting. Is you can poke and pull from the crowd in a way where it's like you guys can run the show. I did this at Off the Couch recently. I let this Indian guy come up and just talk, and he was like, "When I was 7, we moved here," and I was like, "Oh God, no!" But you can just do that and reset it as a host. Whereas if it's your time on as a spot, so yeah, that happened. It was fucking outrageous, and it felt like such a tangling of a beast. I've only had that a few times in comedy. I did a gig in Quakers Hill once as well, where the comic before me got booed by like 100 people, booed off stage. I had to walk, and then I was next.
Yeah.
There's only a few moments I've had where it's like, oh, I got to like go on, and it's not like, oh, I hope I have a good set. They're a pretty good crowd, which is what it normally is. It's like things need fixing. And it's either up to you or you're part of the problem. And these are people that aren't in the best place right now. Yeah, it was. Thank you. If you're listening, Emily and Paris Lady, 90 people wanted you dead, but you really saved us that night. Everyone who knows comedy knows what you did for us that night.
Whenever a stand-up shits on the audience and I'm on next, I'll come on and just be like, I think you guys are the most beautiful audience in the world.
He didn't even shit on the audience though. Shitting
That's
on
true.
a comic at an open mic after the host has talked to you about how they're going to sort it out, how it's all good. You can just do your material, which is what you go to an open mic for. It's like, hey, I got some new gear.
Yeah.
Why do you want to wait an hour and a half to go up an open mic to shit on someone?
Yeah.
You can do that at another show. You don't need to do that at the open mic.
True. I mean, I just flew back from Melbourne and I went to Rat Club like straight away because I got 2 new jokes I got to test. I got to go do a spot.
How'd they go?
It probably wasn't worth
Horrific?
being so sleep deprived. And,
No, it's always worth it.
But
Being's always worth it.
yeah, I'll try all the jokes again tonight. At Sweeney's. So we'll see.
7:30 p.m. every Tuesday.
But dude, the first time I went to Newcastle, I did the open mic. Chris Knight, who's a great comedian, and Finn Padman, who I used to do comedy with. We did the road trip. We got there after work, so we were a bit late, and we were like, just put us last. We're happy to go last because they were trying to accommodate for us because they accommodate, I think, for like Sydney comedians.
Oh, they're the sweetest.
They're so nice. So
Sweetest.
I was like, just put us last. So it was like me, Chris Knight, and then Finn. I get up, I do my act, and there's people in the crowd from Stocko. So near a little bit further north of Newcastle.
Okay.
And they had brought their own beer. They had brought their own boxed wine.
Whoa.
And the bar were like, hey, guys, you actually have to buy drinks here. And they're like, no worries. And they're just pouring their own boxed wine. And they were wasted. So we're going last. And I get up and I had the call. I honestly had to go, sweetheart, I just need 5 minutes. You just need to be a little. And like if you called
Sweetheart is a terrible
If you
way
called
to
somebody
start.
sweetheart in Sydney, you would not be doing the rest of your act.
You deserve whatever came to you.
So no, I did all right. And then Chris
you
Knight
get glassed, but it's a goon sack, so it feels great. It's a
Chris
pillow.
Knight got up, and it was just when in Newcastle there was some cocaine that had washed ashore, and that's what it was in the news. And Chris got up and did some topical stuff, killed. And then Finn Padman got up and did the classic like Larry David, like looked at the audience and was like, no, not for me, and just left. And it's just so funny that we drove 3 hours for him to be like, no, not tonight.
I never get that with comedians. I never get why comedians hate some crowds so much because it's like you can't turn them around. I mean, yeah, there are some crowds which deserve death. But it's really the heckly ones. And this is what I don't like when some bad seeds represent a whole crowd. Do you get what I mean? Like you're talking to me about these Stockton cunts. How many people were there that night?
Oh, it was packed.
See?
Yeah.
And you've got all these good people come for a good show. They're probably going to be great.
Yeah.
And because these guys are at the front, they're having a few drinks, they represent everyone.
Yeah.
They decide, they dictate the
They
show.
get the attention.
And look, if you are listening to this and you're not a comic, which I think it's just comics, but if you're not, don't, it's not your show. It might feel like it. It super isn't. And don't even think about the comedian. Fuck the comedian. Fuck the comedian. Think about the other people that have it's selective heckling.
It's so awkward
Selective
when you go and bark, like you ask people to come to your show.
Oh.
And
By the way, Fringe show, September 4th to 6th.
They'll always ask like, are you on? You're a funny looking guy. And it's like, yes, I'll do a spot, or yes, I'm MC, or no, I'm not on tonight, or whatever. But then it's like, oh, we don't want to sit up the front because, we don't want the comedians to pick on us. So it's like, that's not going to happen unless you want it to happen.
No, come on. Some comedians are like, oh. And we did, actually, not to disagree with you, Tim, we did an open mic last night, a different drummer, and every single comedian that went on, almost like they just didn't, it was almost like a bit. they all just poked at this one guy. There's like 10 people, and they keep going, "What do you do for work?" And he's like, "Dude,
Yeah, enough.
6 comedians just asking me what to do for work." Like, "Oh, what are you scared?" And like, just talk to someone else. So what do you do for work? Just the same guy.
The
And
best-
it's because we eat shit with material, and then we're like, "Oh, they're gonna love it when I talk to the ginger kid in the corner and call him Ron Weasley," and then they do. So you just do that.
Well, that's the problem. I look like every character from Harry Potter.
I didn't even mean you. The guy from last night was a ginger kid, but
Fucking hell, it's
no.
fucking stopped again.
I can just keep it going. Just record again. All right. So you went to Melbourne?
Yeah, man. I went to Melbourne, sort of a last-minute trip. My mate Aaron Gox wanted to do some stuff with us, and I had to bail on him last time he was in Sydney because my partner had COVID and I couldn't really leave the house and that sort of thing. Or maybe I was sick. I had influenza A and was not doing great, and so I missed out on a opportunity of a lifetime to do. And I'm not being facetious here, like legit.
That is a talk show.
Yeah, like I've always wanted to do a spot on a late night talk show, and Goxie does this late night talk show that he sort of tours around Australia, and he asked me to do a spot on it. So I said, the next time you're doing it, I'll fly in and I'll do it. And he said, I'm doing it at the Yarra Hotel in Victoria, in Melbourne, in a few weeks' time. Do you reckon you can be there? I said, I'll be there.
How was it?
Well, this is what happened. The night before, like a week before, Ben Caution was like, hey, can I do a long spot at Sweeney's? I'm recording a special in Melbourne tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, you can come do 20 minutes at Sweeney's and get your special all sorted. But I was like, by the way, I'm going to Melbourne soon. Any chance I can come up tomorrow with you and help out with the special? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I ended up doing like warm-up for a comedy special.
How was that?
It was great. So they filmed it at Comedy Republic in Melbourne, a really great comedy club.
Of course.
And Kyron Wheatley, who used to be on Triple J,
Yep.
who is partners with Reese Nicholson, he was like executive producer of the special. So I got to like work with him, and it was just a surreal, enjoyable experience. And Caution's one of the best fucking comedians going around.
Amazing. Ben Caution, check him out if you don't know him.
His special is going to be so good. But
how'd it go, the special?
so fun. I
can't wait.
I was
He's
trying
the
not to
best.
laugh too much because I was like, I don't want to make this sound fake.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was just
Was he-
killing
he was
myself.
killing?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's
And
great.
it's really that was really fun. And then I did the Goxie thing. But while I was there, our other friend Andrew Hamilton was on the project, so I went and watched him on the project.
Oh, nice.
I met up with a few comedians, had a few meetings, talked about doing the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, things like that. So it was just surreal, and just doing spots over there is very different to Sydney. And you sort of had this experience when you came back from recording Raw comedy, because that was at Town Hall, wasn't it? And then you did a few spots around
I was in Melbourne for 2 weeks.
and you were kind
yeah.
of buzzing a bit because you were just like, man, Melbourne's sick. I did this room, I did that room. And
Yeah, there's so many rooms in Melbourne.
I kind of feel
Love the Melbourne
same.
scene. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
being accommodating.
I feel like the same as you. I kind of get where you were at when you came back, and I was like, oh man, comedy's sick, eh?
Yeah, it feels really cool, especially when I was there for the during the fest, and there's just an energy. Like you just go to random buildings, and it's like, oh, they're doing 5-minute spots in this basement here, and it's packed.
Yeah.
Like it's very cool. It's a really cool vibe. All the I don't want to say all. I didn't meet all the comics, but all the comics I ran into were very accommodating, very lovely. It's all just a bunch of cunts grinding and trying to be funny, man. It's the exact same. I never understood turf wars and the whole Sydney, Melbourne. They're not like us. I'm like, we're all doing jokes and trying to get laughs. I don't understand the difference. But given all of that, with all that being said, it's there's so many rooms in Melbourne. Like
Yes.
I could do 4 or 5 spots a night in Melbourne,
And just
which
walk
kind
to
of
them, yeah.
isn't possible here. I don't. Maybe on like a Thursday you could really stretch something out, but not really.
I
But
remember the
they
first
start
time-
shows at like 6 p.m. and they end them at like 10 p.m.
I
It's
booked.
so good.
I once booked maybe a few years ago now. I booked 3 spots in Sydney, and I was like, I'm gonna do 3 spots in Sydney tonight. I was so excited. I'm gonna film them all and do something with them, and I'm doing 3 spots. This is insane.
Wow.
And then like 2 of them got cancelled.
Yeah. Sydney has a lot of rooms, not a lot of people.
But in Melbourne, I would just do a spot,
the
and I'm like, hey,
rooms.
do you guys know if there's another place I can? And they're like, just run down the street.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you can
yeah.
get on, and it's
It's
like, oh,
so
this
good.
is insane. This is so much
And they got
fun.
that tram system, so you're kind of
Yeah.
like a tram away from your next spot.
Exactly
In Sydney,
yeah.
if like Sweeney's, where are you parking? You know, it can't be done
Well-
unless you know a guy or some shit. Like it can't be done. Whereas there, you're just tramming everywhere.
Well, when we started Sweeney's, it was for a few reasons. One, we wanted a room near the train, So we wanted people to get there easily, and we wanted it to be on a night there that there wasn't much comedy on in Sydney. So a big famous comedian actually said, "Hey, Tuesday nights there's not much going on. We can't really work out our material anywhere." So we did it on a Tuesday, and we did it near a train station, town hall station, for those reasons. And that big comedian has done the room once.
Wow.
We built a room around him.
And you got too big for it. That's great. That's power. You're like, hey, here's what you should do with your room. And they do it, and you're like, still not good enough for me, though. Not quite my level.
Yeah. But I know we talk about Sweeney's comedy on the podcast a lot, but
come on down,
boy, it's
guys.
a fun room.
Yeah, come on. We're doing it tonight.
I love running it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So should we? I know we've probably got heaps of stories to talk about. Newcastle, Melbourne, all that sort of stuff.
Let's get into it, dude.
We're here for one reason, and
we're
one
here
reason
for one.
only.
A lot of you were thinking, why the fuck do they start every episode talking about comedy? Hello, I'm trying to watch Deal or No Deal. I didn't even know these guys did comedy. Do they do comedy? Can you call this comedy?
So we're going back into the vault a little bit. This is season 1, episode 65. This is an episode that I just saved when I was thinking about doing a podcast like this.
Nice.
I kind of pitched it to you, and you were like, yeah, let's have a crack. And we're doing it.
Tim just has spare episodes of Deal or No Deal in weird folders. It's like, when your wife's like, what the fuck is this folder? It says like private on it. You're like, honey, don't click on that. And she's like, is this gross porn? And it's just Deal or No Deal episodes.
My mate used to have
Candids.
My mate used to hide his porn in his it was like a Lego hard drive
I never
game.
got the whole hiding porn thing, especially if it's not illegal. Why are you hiding it? Who are you hiding it from? It's just the normal things. I've got a cousin in Iran who's got I don't even want to say, a terabyte of porn.
Jeez.
And in person, he's the sweetest little man ever. And then he's just anyway.
So we've got a guy...
Frank Musica.
Yeah, Musica.
Frank Musica.
He's a father of 3, has a wife at home. He works for Asahi Beer, who are one of the biggest beer companies in the world, I think. He's a line manager, quality tester. Grant made a little funny joke. Do you test the beer yourself? Yeah, shut up, mate.
He drinks on the job, he said. He did.
And he's gone with briefcase number 3. He says it's his lucky number.
Yeah, but that he's never won anything with it, which is pretty good.
So his birthday is on the 3rd. He loves having a punt on the races. He'll pick the horse or the dog number 3. He'll pick it at his lotto numbers.
Oh, man.
He's always gone with number 3, but he's never won. So hopefully tonight he'll win a bit of cash.
He says he's going to go 50-50 with his daughter on whatever he wins, who's number 19. She's got that briefcase.
She's up in the... What do you call it? I always call it the audience, but it's like the podium.
The mosh pit. Yeah.
So she's up there with the
death pit.
The rest of the...
She's with the other people. 50-50 with the daughter, and he says if he wins, he's going to get his wife an eternity ring.
That's beautiful.
But it doesn't say what the daughter wants, which says a lot about the relationship, I think.
I think the daughter's...
What do you think the daughter will do with it?
Obviously...
Pay off the hex, probably something depressing.
I don't think she wants an eternity ring because she's not here for
she's trying to die ASAP, you know what I mean? Oh, look at her. She's more dressed up than he is, which I think is nice. She's got that yellow... What are these?
I mean,
dresses
they're like Emily in Paris kind of dresses, yeah.
Yeah,
the Peruvian puffy, yellow.
When the shoulders come out, you guys text in. What do we call that? Shoulders are it's very
puffy
Met
shoulders.
Gala. You'd wear that at the Met Gala, no one would
sure.
look you twice. Whereas he's dressed like he's going to Kmart or Bunnings or something.
She's
it's
dressed
like, brother,
really
you're about to win
nice.
100 Dow.
I mean,
right.
I like when people wear yellow on this show. You were wearing yellow in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Have you noticed Grant's sort of playing things down this week with his suit?
Oh, nice. Okay, we got 6 cases to open, you guys. Grant's playing
It
it.
started with unlucky 13, and boy, is it unlucky.
$40,000 first case. Not a good start. But I don't know if you guys remember last episode.
I do.
Last episode we had Kiara, I believe was her name. Oh my God, $75,000 is the second case. Never mind. You're so fucked, Frank. You are so fucked. Go back to
Frank's
Asahi.
daughters.
I think Asahi are going to fire him after this. He's going to have to go work for VB or some piece of shit. Yeah, but last time we were roasting her because maybe the worst first round of all time is what the critics at the Podcast Awards were saying. And she ended up having 100,000 in that thing. So I don't know what she had in her briefcase, but she had
So he's still got 4
Whoa,
cases.
this guy's
to
dressed
open.
okay, you guys, number 15 looks like he's dressed from Ed Hardy. Do you know Ed Hardy?
Yeah.
That's like a perfect Ed Hardy thing. $7,500. Again, very similar to last week where the first round is like a horror movie. I mean, just terrible. His first bank offer is going to be a high five and a pack of Arnott's biscuits.
I love that everyone that has to be.
Oh my God, $100,000 just got opened. We're going to end this episode here, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I got a Fringe show coming up.
I love that everyone on
What's
the
the point?
podium
What's
that
the
has to
point?
do the briefcasing, they're all dressed up because they thought they were going to get on. So they've got to wear.
Do they not know if they're going to?
No.
Oh, really?
So they're wearing like Hawaiian shirts and stuff like that because they're like there with the boys hoping to get picked.
Is that actually how it
Yeah.
works? They don't know until...
I think it's random, or
Nah,
they
come
they have a look
on.
at someone in the audience. They go, "That guy
You
could be
can't
good."
believe that. I figured it was all scripted down to the... I don't even think his name is Frank. I think this guy's name is like, Gepetti. And they call him Frank Masika just so he can... $25. Okay.
the
Thanks.
first-
See, again, first ethnic that you picked gives you $25. You pick these white people. White people are rich. So like when they open up $100,000, they're going, oh, that's like $25 to me.
That's
But
nothing.
we
to me.
need money. Ethnic. Oh my God, you're actually right about the Hawaiian shirts. What is this, the Hawaiian edition of the episode? $1,000 was just opened. So again, we've lost 100,000. We've lost 75,000. We've lost 40,000, and 7,500 and $1,025. So some are calling it the worst round since Kiara Jackson.
Which was last week's
which was
episode.
the last week ones for those of you at the podcast awards.
Kiyanosh, you're still getting your head around the game. Like, you're going to have good weeks, you're going to have bad weeks. It's like open mic comedy, bro. Some weeks you bomb, some weeks
They're
you crush.
laughing way harder than at open mics, and they look like they're smiling. So it
Actually, we should see
seem
if
like
we
it
could
is like
do
open mic
warm-up
comedy.
comedy at Deal or No Deal. That would be a lot of fun.
it's a very real job. I don't know how real it is.
You and
here,
I come
but It's
out.
very real in America.
So first bank offer, $2,000,
yeah,
280.
that's rough.
That's pretty rough. But like, look at that left side. The only thing he's taken off the small side is $25.
No deal. Wow.
He's gone a big old no deal. His daughter's absolutely loving it. She's laughing in her little yellow dress.
Has anyone you know how like some people really use their appearance on reality show and like they kind of catapult a career
Yeah.
out of it? Has anyone done that just as a normal
We know
contestant on Jill and No Deal, and then they turn that into a career?
We know someone who's an open mic comedian who's like apparently was the best sale of the century contestant of all time, and won a bit on Millionaire, I think, and now is on The Chase as one of the chasers.
Yo.
But they're an open micer from Sydney.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, that's the good stuff. I guess it can be done, you guys.
And he would write trivia or questions.
Frank Masik has actually got a Fringe show that he's doing this year. It's already sold out. Don't bother buying tickets, and it's at the Allianz Arena. Is that still an arena?
What's it called?
I don't know arenas in Australia. There's like 3 good arenas. Kudos.
Yeah, that's the Superdome.
Superdome.
I used to call it the Superdome. So we've got Stadium Australia, we've got the Superdome, we've got the SCG, and then we've got the football stadium.
A sex act where I come from. Got that Superdome. All right. I think even Grant wants me dead. Grant's going to be on the next episode, guys, so please keep paying attention.
So do you like Grant's suit? He hasn't done a 3-piece, but he's got a nice French cuff.
Yeah. I'm not a suit guy. I've never been a suit guy, but I think you can't go too flashy.
If you were doing the
That's thing.
Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, would you wear a suit to do 5 minutes of comedy?
$1. Case just opened. $1. Pretty good. Jimmy Fallon. First of all, it'd be an honor. Jimmy, thank you so much for inviting me. It's just an honor to be nominated, to be honest. If they asked me to, I definitely would. I'd do whatever they asked because it's their show. But I wouldn't.
You wouldn't wear a suit?
I'm not a suit guy. I don't feel comfortable.
Would you
in
dress up
suit.
a little bit?
$50 is the next case. Beautiful.
Because you
it's
have
looking
done,
a lot better.
You've done a television appearance. What did you wear on Raw Comedy?
Oh, just the jumper, that green jumper I literally always wear, and it's the same pants I always wear. My mum's, she's like, at least you look decent. She's like, you couldn't get a fucking new jumper.
Was your
that
mum
shit.
proud?
She was, $50,000 just opened. My mum's prouder than fucking Frank Masika's mum. This is terrible, Frank. I'm so sorry, man.
Look at his heart.
My mum was proud of you, of course. Actually, Raw's the only thing I've achieved so far in comedy that's real to her. Because, like, you think about it, I tell my mum,
Yeah.
like, I did the store. She's like, what are you talking? What? What do you? Okay, what? I'm like, it's like a really good venue. And she's like, what's a venue? But if I just say I'm on real television, like free to air, she texted everyone. My mom texted everyone she knew about me going to Raw. I mean, like my gardener I'm serious. Like she at some
Someone's
point
doing well.
At some
You got a
point,
gardener.
at some point,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, exactly. He comes like once every 2 years, and she still texted him. She texted everyone, and at one point, she's a psychologist. She goes, "Do you think it's too much if I text my clients?" I'm like, "Dude, yes, of course."
Wait, your mum's a psychologist?
Yeah, and she's like, "Can I
that's
text my
awesome.
clients the link?" I'm like, imagine seeing your psychologist send you a link, and then you watch my act,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dumb fatouche act on Raw, and being like, "This lady raised this."
Yeah. Is your act very Freudian?
There is some. I open with a joke about. Oh, I didn't open with, but I got a joke about breaking my mom's knees. So it's like, $5 open by what's his name? Like this guy, that guy was in Led Zeppelin or the Beatles.
I was going to
or
say Kenny
something.
Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny. Whatever happened to Kenny Rogers, man?
I think he's still
Does
playing.
he still make chicken?
Playing the
Is
saxophone.
it Kenny Rogers chicken, or am I thinking? Of the
Wait,
wrong
am I
one?
thinking? I'm thinking of someone else.
$5,000 open.
Is Kenny Rogers the saxophonist or the country singer?
Either way, not a fan.
Either way, they blow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm thinking of the sax.
But that's Kenny. I think that's Kenny G. Kenny Rogers is country singer.
Oh, and which one's the chicken?
Kenny Rogers, I believe, was the chicken. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Completely off topic, but
Lee
Whoa.
Hardy, like going full
Holy
Lee Hardy
shit.
with the leather.
And a few of you guys are probably wondering, are we even watching this episode? And I don't believe in Frank, so no. To be honest, I've got Seinfeld in the background.
Well,
right
let's
now.
do a little bit of a
Costanza is killing
recap. This is the second bank offer, so we're about to see what the bank
Ooh,
think of
exact
Frank.
same. The exact same.
So $2,300. Now on the
Disgusting.
left side, he's gotten rid of the dollar. He's gotten rid of the $5. He's gotten rid of the $25. And he's gotten rid of the $50. So a bit in play still over in the blue side. On the big old right side, he's gotten rid of the $1,000. He's gotten rid of the $5,000. He's gotten rid of the $7,500. He's gotten rid of 40G, 50G, 75G, and 100G. That's a lot of cash gone. Just
a lot of cash
obliterated into the abyss.
Look, at this point, yeah, he's not going to take
No
it.
deal.
Logic leaves when money is involved. This show will be studied by aliens who are like, because this is the thing. This is what they don't do. They tell us what these guys want, but they don't really tell us their living situations, right? Like imagine if you knew Frank lived in a trailer right now with his daughter, and they don't get fresh water, and they got to go to like a well. You'd be like, take the $2,300. But if he's got a 3-bedroom in Piermont, you'd be like, oh fucking, you don't need.
That
any
should
of
be
this.
the
Do whatever
cold
you
open.
want.
It's like, hey, welcome to my crib.
Yes,
come on
exactly,
in. I need money for this. I need money for that. Or it's like, I'm doing all right, so I'm just going to play around.
Because he works at Asahi, he's a line manager. He probably makes $80,000 a year.
I would think a little bit more.
Probably close to $100,000 a year, and that's like
I mean, that's a $25
That's
t-shirt.
important to know,
but
you know?
his daughter's wearing a $1,000 dress.
his shirt. Yeah, that's the kind of shirt the wife buys you for Christmas, and you wear it, and it's the only thing you wear. $100 has just been eliminated.
I love when they do the like, oh yeah, that's good. I picked that one, and that is good.
As a kid, I used to always find it so interesting when the contestant would be like, "Oh, I hope for your sake it's like $5," and then it's 100,000, and they're so sad and upset. And it's like, man, why do you have to carry this guilt? $75 just opened for those of you watching at home.
Getting rid of some blue boys. I like when they clean up that side of the table.
Am I wrong in saying there's a certain pattern in these episodes where the beginning is all these big numbers, and then the second round is kind of 50 cents is all these little numbers? First of all, I think by episode 5 we'll crack that this show is a complete and utter scripted series, and Frank isn't real, Grant isn't real, it's all AI. The contestants are hired actors. I think it's all going to come out, and I'm sorry to ruin your favorite show for you, Tim, but a lot of patterns, we get that 100th hour out, we get the big numbers, and then we start getting to the small ones, and now we got a bank offer of 4,760, which is more than last time. We're a little intrigued, just enough to keep watching.
Are you telling me Grant Denyer's banter with the contestants is AI?
I think Grant Denyer sits down with them for a full week, and they rehearse these conversations. And he goes, no. Don't say VB. Say Asahi. People like Asahi more. No. Don't say you have a son. Let's hire a daughter for you.
Yeah.
Say you're going to go 50. They want that.
She does
they
look
want
like
that
she's
female
straight
perspective.
out of the catalogue of a casting agency.
Straight. She does not know who this cunt is. His name's Craig. Her name's Shirley. And they got to pretend they're father-daughter.
I was actually going to say, remember, this again, old television reference, but remember the TV show
Hogan's Heroes?
Laverne and Shirley?
I've heard
they
that
were
one
bottle
for sure.
cappers at a
$10,000
brewery.
gone. Just so you guys know, whoever wrote this script has given us a dark ending for this
Because
one.
when he said he's a line manager at a
See, too specific.
brewery,
I think that's too
it
specific.
reminded me of Laverne and Shirley. You know, in Wayne's World, and they
Oh, okay. See, Wayne's World.
That's a reference to Laverne and Shirley.
I'm more.
It
of
was a spin-off from Happy Days.
I'm more of a Laverne guy, but nothing against Shirley.
I believe
he's got one case to open, you guys, and fully scripted this show.
I feel like this has gone really quick. They're punching through this.
Case 8. Yeah. Oh, 250. Yeah, they don't want to be there.
All right,
You
let's
can
do a
tell.
quick recap.
You reckon,
Still in play, $10, $500, and $750. That's on the small side. On the big side, he's got $2,500, $20,000, and $30,000 with a bank offer of $5,120.
You know what I want to see?
Mm.
Completely random. I want to see a heist movie in like a game show setting. Because think about it. The guy's heisting and he's like, give me $100,000. And they're like, you got to actually play to win it. So then he's the contestant, but it's a heist. So he's like got a gun at Grant's head, and Grant's like, Jesus Christ, no deal or deal. And he's like, fucking deal.
What's the big film festival, short film festival in Australia, in Sydney?
The Sydney Film Festival?
Like the short one.
Flickerfest?
No, I don't know. I'll send you one. Someone did a short film with
Oh, really?
With-
There's
yeah,
a heist movie with George Clooney. He's like a anchor on a political sort of news show, but that's classic. Like the government's lying to you and the media.
Ocean's 11.
I wish, dude.
No, but there is exactly what
Love
you're
a heist
pitching.
movie.
There was a short film made, and this guy gets called, and he's the phone a friend on Eddie's hot seat.
Oh yeah.
I'll send you the clip, man. It's exactly what you were describing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
He just said no deal to $5,000. By the way, those of you who are wondering if Frank's a real person, definitely not. The hell would do that?
So 2 cases to open. He's done a no deal.
He's done no deal on
pretty
$5,000.
decent offer.
Yeah,
But I mean, he's still got the 30 and 20 in play.
750 is gone. He's got 1 case to open. There's $10 left. There's $500 left. There's 2,500, and then we got the big 20 and the big 30. Thou. 1 case to go, guys. Oh my God! If you're driving, pull over. $500.
Now
gone.
this is what I like the look of when there's only
correct,
one
yes.
blue on the left side.
Yeah.
That's a healthy looking board.
Do you see what I mean? Though the first round was horrific, and now it's coming up.
Do you think it's a
everything's coming up
conspiracy?
Frank.
Do you think it's to
I
keep
think it's
viewers
scripted.
engaged?
I think this show
Because I would watch this show if it was a
fake.
train wreck, if it was going well. It doesn't
Really?
matter. I like both.
Yeah.
You
I think
see-
they should just admit it's scripted so that we know. See, now the bank offer is going to be like $25,000 or something stupid. See, 8.5 big ones.
See, they want him to keep playing because
They-
that's not a good offer for what he's got. That board is much healthier.
Nah, come
than
on.
8
Is
and
it
a
one
half
case
grand.
now?
Yeah,
One
it's gotta
case to
be.
go?
Yeah, there's only
Oh.
four
Yeah.
cases
Then
left.
He could probably take one more risk, and then after that, that daughter's going to need to be homeschooled if it doesn't go
The
well.
daughter's 48.
Yeah, but still.
She's still in school.
You can never stop learning, Tim. Honestly, it's very
That's true.
important to keep educated, and I think
Yeah.
it's TAFE for her if this doesn't go well. Whereas
No,
if it goes
nothing wrong
well,
with TAFE, bro.
if it goes well, she could go to Macquarie Uni. And that's pretty exciting.
I would rather go to TAFE than Macquarie Uni.
Yeah, look.
And Macquarie Uni is just down the road, but I've got an ex-girlfriend that's doing a PhD there. And I can't.
You used to have a PhD. Anyway, I just want to be able to read, you guys. One day we'll get that. Oh, he said no deal. Oh, Frank, you fucking idiot. I feel like I shit on the contestants too much.
Yeah. One of these days there's going to be a contestant that
On
you
the
fall in
show.
love with.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering,
Dude,
oh my God, he just
Dude.
got $10. Holy shit.
look at it.
Dude,
He's
he is
dancing.
jumping up and down like his ex-wife's
So
in the
the
building.
lowest amount he can go home with is $2,500.
That's pretty good.
The biggest is
2.5
$30.
$2.5 Deniers.
Yeah.
Would you take $2.5 or $2.5 Deniers?
$2,500. Deniers.
Yeah, I know. You could get one to cook for you, one to sleep,
But can I get
snuggle? Ooh,
One's
imagine
doing
snuggling
the show still, so I get his salary.
The
I
bank
garnish
off,
that
oh my
salary.
God, the bank offer's 12,666. That's crazy.
They've
yeah,
done-
so you
they've
take
done-
his.
they've
Oh,
done
you'd
the-
have one work. You'd
They've
have
done
one
the
grand
number of the
work for you.
beast a few times. Have you noticed that? 666?
Yeah, 666. It's dude. The whole show is run by the devil. The people up.
They're
in
dancing
channels,
with the
oh
devil.
my fucking God! No deal, Frank.
They should change the name of the
This
show.
guy was loved as a child, is all I'm going to say. This Frank guy has so much
I'm with
confidence
him.
and
No, I
self-esteem.
think,
Are you serious?
Yeah, like he's got a healthy looking board here. Like he can do quite
But
well
12,600. Oh, I guess you're right. 2 out of 3 options are higher.
here. Even
than
if he
that,
gets
so
rid of the 20,000,
then he's still good.
Yeah,
and even the
he's still good.
30,000's all right. Yeah. His daughter hasn't opened hers yet? Oh my god!
That's the saving grace sometimes.
And this, what's his name looking motherfucker? What's that actor who's very good looking? Oh, I don't know his name. Doesn't work if you don't know his. Oh god, it's killing me. Next episode, I'll have the reference, you guys. So please, $30,000 opened. Frank is officially homeless. The trailer is not going to be getting a new sink.
He correctly
And he
guessed
gets
it. What a
250.
dickhead.
Oh, he guessed it was 30,000.
Yeah.
Fuck my ass.
I love
Call me
that.
Stacy.
Yeah, I hope for your sake, but I think $30,000. Correct guess. Catch you
Him
later.
and his
Bye.
daughter. Either way, okay. So either way, he's getting $2,500. Pays for the Uber home, which is really important for me. $9,300 as the bank offer.
So you've got 2 suitcases left.
See, now I would probably take it, right?
This is where you got to play on.
Does that mean take it?
The audience is telling him to take
They're
it.
telling him to take it, which
It looks like he's going to take it.
The
Look at
sign
his
language
eyes.
for take it is crazy. It's
The-
the same thing as when you're like throwing cash at a stripper. For those of you watching at home, it is. That's great.
But see how their eyes start to water up? That means they're about to take it.
Oh, really?
They're embarrassed.
Yeah, because he's thinking about no, but he's gone 50-50 with his daughter. He only really gets $4,500 if he takes this.
Not even that. Yeah.
Not even that. Yeah, after taxes. But $2,500, he would get a great. Yeah, he probably regrets the 50-50 with his daughter. He's like, can I just have it all?
Yeah.
You got that nice dress.
Or maybe just give it all to his daughter. You know.
That'd be really.
She's
sweet.
going to get it anyways.
Oh my! Oh, she said it's up to you. That's so. What
The crowd are
okay,
really wanting him to
what
take it.
What the fuck do you feed the crowd in Deal or No Deal, guys? Do you feed them with sugar and?
Yeah, they get fun
sugar.
size candy bars.
He took it. Deal $9,000, 340 big ones.
Now what's in Frank's case?
How much is an eternity ring? You reckon? You can probably.
He could get it.
He's probably going to spend what $400 on an eternity ring. Give the rest to his daughter, and then he's got like $4,000 to go up.
Yeah.
Pokies.
I'm guessing an eternity ring
make
similar.
the real money.
A similar. Oh, his daughter had the 200,000. So.
You mean the 20,000?
20,000.
Oh, yep. See, good decision.
But he.
Frank had $2,500.
So Frank just
and he
needed to
went
know
home.
when to
He
pull
did the
out.
opposite of what the last episode did.
Yeah.
Last episode had
He seems
100,000
happy.
and
He
went
seems
home
happy
with
with that.
10,000. You know what's very interesting? He went home with less money than the last episode, but he's much happier.
Yeah, yeah.
Last episode went with 10 grand, wants to kill herself. And Frank left her with just over 9 grand. And look at him. Looks like he's accomplished the best thing of his life. Actually, he doesn't look that happy at all. It would be a very intense experience being on this show. You know, you meet your idol and then you got to lose money in front of him. That was episode 65, you guys. I'll be honest, not my favorite episode.
Yeah, I mean,
Not my favorite episode.
He did his second best, really, when you think about it.
Yeah,
He could have gone home with a lot more, but he could have lost it all. So, like, he sort of took a deal at the right place, but he could have taken it one place earlier.
For sure. He's a
done
very
a
sweet guy.
little bit better, but yeah.
I'm really glad that he went home with at least close to 10 grand. I feel like around 10 grand is when it starts to be worth his while. You know what I mean?
So we're 3 episodes in. Where's your head at? What are you thinking about this show? Are you across it all?
I reckon I could be a pretty good contestant on the show at this point because I actually think not knowing some stuff is good.
Oh, interesting.
Honestly, I really think some things, like when they say, when you think too much about the numbers, I feel like you start getting crazy. That all these guys, they do all the no deals where you're like, well, logically you should deal, and it goes good sometimes, man. So I'd probably go on this show and try to make the episode the craziest that I could, as opposed to be like, well, technically I'd have 50 cents. You see those ones, 50 cents and like 100,000, and I would be like, fucking no deal, you dogs.
You're eating hot wings on the side.
I mean, I'm giving noogies to Grant. You know what I mean? Just having fun with it. But yeah, I love the show for sure.
Do you think anyone we've watched so far like that they played the game well? Do you like any tactics they used? Do you think you could sort of, if you got the opportunity to play Deal or No Deal, you would sort of go back and watch some episodes and learn from them?
Definitely not. I think I know how to say no deal or deal, so I'm pretty good on that front. But actually, tactic wise, not really. I was really tough on last week's episode, which I thought, should have I still feel for her, had the $100,000. But they played how I would have played, which is out of fear, which is how I prefer to live, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you go too bold, you leave with like $20 and that's super embarrassing. So I get the whole leaving in the middle and taking, in this economy, 10 grand is fantastic. I mean,
For sure.
You need 10 grand. Don't be greedy and take 100. But I think playing the game well and being a generous and decent I think they're very different things. You know, like taking the 10 grand is like, okay, just understand what you deserve. And then playing the game right is almost like when you're gambling and you just feel that mojo and you're like, no deal, baby. And then you lose it all. So I don't know. Any game with money makes me very nervous. I'll be honest.
When Howie Mandel started hosting the show in America, he got the whole sob story of like the first contestant, and then just saw how the studio audience and the lights and the energy of the room just took over, and this person who needed money desperately just started gambling with their life, and he's like, that changed the way I hosted the show. Because how can you do a sob story? Because the audience or the people watching at home aren't going to get behind this person. If you've just said, I can't buy food for my kids, and then you're throwing away a couple of grand to see if you can get a bit more money.
Oh, wow.
So it's interesting.
I just want to feed my kids, and then it's like, okay, you've been offered $49,000.
So the hosts of these shows have to keep it light, because otherwise it gets too real. And the way we like to keep things light around here is tell a few jokes at the end of the podcast.
For sure.
I just like reading jokes off blue cards, test some material, see if anything sticks to the walls. So do you mind if I try a few jokes? Have you got anything to try?
I don't think so. I'll try and think. I think I'm out of jokes.
All right. Well, let me try these horrible jokes. So I went to Bali a little while ago.
Yeah, I know.
I just flew in from Bali, and boy, are my arms tired from decking blokes at Kuta Beach.
Nice. They love that at Kuta Beach, that joke.
I actually just got back from swimming at Bells Beach, and boy, are my ears ringing.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I like that one.
And my partner, she says I'm really bad at sex, but if I'm so bad at sex, why do I come every time?
Nice. Murdered at Sweeney's the other night. That one. It did. There was a lot of good energy in that room.
Wasn't getting much in Melbourne.
Oh, really?
That was one of the jokes that didn't do as well.
They want stories. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I don't do that shit. Love you guys.
They want riffs, baby. It's Riff City up there.
One of my openers, like little jokes in Melbourne was, I'm a Sydney comic, you guys, which apparently is a slur here, and they hated that as well. They didn't find that funny. I thought that was pretty funny because I kept hearing things like, everyone I talked to was like, oh, you're a Sydney comedian. Why don't you just end your life and all this shit? So I thought they'd laugh at it, but they just looked at me because they were so nice to me. And I just went up and I was like, oh, is it a kid? And they're like, shut the hell up.
I did ask.
I regret that.
Before is it more PC up here? And everyone's like, hey, don't worry about that, bro. Just go up and do it.
It's crowd to crowd. Yeah. It's still very crowd to crowd. I had some very loose shows I had some shows that were way too loose in Melbourne. I did like these shows called like Racist Immigrants and Boats or whatever the hell. And they just wanted me to go up there and be like, I'm on border security, I'm a terrorist. And I was like, I live with my mom, and they're like, fuck off. Tell us you're a terrorist and make or that you're an Uber driver or that you smell funny and make us like they were like that's like what they'd paid money for almost. Well, someone just said, white people paying money for brown people.
Someone said because we're filming this pretty low budget. Someone said
too
this
low
looks
budget.
Like a terrorist video.
Yeah. Really? Hostage video? Yeah, it kind of does. If you guys can. Get me out of here. That'd be great. Tim won't let me leave until we get 20 listeners. So
we really do
it's gonna be
need to get out of here, though. But that was a great episode, Frank. You played the game pretty well. I hope you're doing all right. I hope your daughter's doing all right.
Doing all right. He's a father of 3, by the way. I only brought one of the kids to the show.
He made a deal. He won't be able to support those kids with $3.5 grand.
Also, he's got 3 kids going 50-50 with a daughter. He's got 2 kids going, Dad, can I at least get a roll-up? And
Dad,
he's like,
can I have dinner tonight? No, mate.
No. Ask your sister.
That yellow dress costs a lot of money.
Ask your sister. She's actually at the Asahi factory right now, just getting blind.
But Frank made a pretty good deal, I think. And, what's the deal with everything? And we got to get out of here.
Thank you, guys. Oh, I'd also like to promote my Fringe show. This is almost a bit at this point, but if anyone's listening, and it probably is just Ramsey, but I've got a Fringe show in September 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Factory Theatre. It's called What's the Deal with Kiyanosh and Ramsey. Just jokes, just an hour of classic jokes. And actually, that makes it sound like they're all jokes. our jokes. They're so funny. Tim's going to be there.
Can I do 5 at the top?
Tim's going to be doing 5 at the top, it sounds like. So please come on down and see if Tim's going to be there or not.
How many nights are you doing?
3 nights.
Oh,
so,
be,
I mean,
yeah,
it'd be rude to not get you for one of them, honestly. Please come, see which one Tim's going to open for. And actually, 5 to 10% chance Grant Daniel will be opening the other one, and then Frank, the contestant from this episode, is probably going to close one of them with like 20-25 on the on the Deal or No Deal stuff. Because again, big podcast awards have been talking about this. We're kind of trying to transfer that to shows, and we'll be doing live podcasts, I think, in probably 2-3 episodes at what's that venue called? Kudos Arena. So that'll be very exciting. Thank you guys so much for listening.
We got to get out of here. Catch you later, mate.
Thanks.